Welcome to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. So, this week we are going to lead off with the MVP himself, Mr. Aaron Judge. Had a historic season. Should have been unanimous, in my opinion. Rodrick, what's your take on Aaron Judge winning the MVP?
Hate the guy, but well deserved. Well deserved, 100%. He had a great year, broke records, hit a lot of home runs, and congrats. That's all I gotta say. Congrats.
Yeah, for sure. We just started off with a nice positive tone there. Now let's get into some Met news real quick. Let's get into that. So, Rodrick, I know you had some notes. So, what do you want to go over?
Well, yeah, the Mets made a couple of trades this week. We made a trade for Jeff Brigham and Alicia Hernandez from the Marlins in exchange for a low prospect of ours. I like that move a lot because they're both the pitchers that we got are both big league pitchers, and I've seen them pitch because they're on the Marlins and played against the Mets, and they both look good. It's good for bullpen depth, and I think that those are two underrated moves that are going to kind of kick off our offseason. And then we also traded for. Oh no, we didn't trade for. We picked up somebody off of waivers from the Braves. I think his name was like something right. I forget, but yeah, two or three good relievers right there help fill out the bottom of that bullpen, and good starts. I like him. I like the moves.
Yeah, for sure. The Mets also claimed Steven Ridings off waivers from the Yankees. Now, I really hope this isn't another Garrett Whitlock situation, but it wouldn't surprise me if it is. But you can't really fault the Yankees. The guy has had some injury issues, but to be honest, he still throws pretty hard. So the Mets are getting. It's not that big of a risk here for the
Yeah.
Mets. Yeah, so it's good to have bullpen depth. So, anyways. I I want to get into Jacob DeGrom. I know your opinion on re-signing him, but apparently, just to go over it, the Dodgers, of course, this doesn't surprise anybody. What's new? The Dodgers are probably in on him. I mean, this doesn't come as a surprise. The Dodgers, they sign almost anyone. They just non-tendered Cody Bellinger apparently, and I think that's not bad. Like for either New York team, if they want to take a risk, because if he's not asking for a lot, would you be interested in Cody Bellinger?
No. This, he could play defense. He'd be a good defensive replacement, but he's just not. He can't hit anymore. He's not a viable offensive bet anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, like for the Yankees, I think it would be like, let's say Judge walks and maybe you're just like there's nobody left. Why not? But anyways, that's. Now also, the Mets are apparently in on Justin Verlander. Roderick, how do you feel about that?
Well, I didn't really want him. I'll start with that, but if we can get him for a good price, which I don't think is going to happen if we do get him, because he wants Scherzer money, and we all know how that contract's looking right now. So you gotta get him at the right price and don't get him at all. I hope Steve is aggressive, but also hope he's smart when and how he spends the money. You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. So, do you want to bring Nimmo back to what if you had to put together the team right now, with the free agents, but keeping a little realistic approach here? How would you have the Mets line up 1 through 9?
Nemo,
Okay,
center fielder, obviously.
so
Marte,
resigning.
resign Nemo. Marte's still here. Lindor, Alonzo, McNeil, probably crap. Let me think about this one. Probably Canna at 6. Um, Escobar 7. Maybe Guillorme 8 and Alvarez 9. That's probably something I'd like. The rotation though, I have some aspirations for the rotation. I'll just leave it at that for now. go back to it later.
So can we hear your aspirations about the rotation? Let's hear that.
Um, yeah, we can hear it now, I guess. There's this guy I'm really looking at. Not American, the guy from overseas who we've talked to and we've had pretty good conversation with from what I've been hearing from reports and whatnot. I really hope we get the guy from Japan. I really hope that we bring him in and he just lights it up. That's what I'm looking for. Forget DeGrom. Famous last words.
Yeah, I think his last name is like Senga,
I think
something.
Senegai, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But we definitely know who we were talking about. A lot of teams are in on him. Um, that would definitely help the Mets rotation because right now it's only Max Scherzer, Carrasco, and that's like kind of
Awesome.
it.
That's all.
That's not good, especially after we saw what happened with Scherzer and the wild card. Like, who knows with him at this point? So, and that's like the problem with signing Justin Verlander. It's like, okay, he wants that Scherzer contract. So you're gonna have two old pitchers now with like virtually the same contract. I just don't see how you can do that. I know, like Steve Cohen, he's like the richest owner in baseball, but you should still spend your money smart. That can go into other aspects of the Mets. Like maybe spend it on some bullpen help, like the reliever you mentioned.
Andrew
What's his name?
Andrew
Yep,
Chafin. Yeah.
yep, exactly him. So I mean, you should still just don't spend like a drunken sailor. That's basically what Steve Cohen should do. Now, also, we're gonna get into some Yankees news now, real quick. So apparently, the New York Yankees made this guy an offer. Um, I don't know. It's going to take a while. I don't know what Brian Cashman was really expecting. Is he going to take? No, it's going to take some time for Aaron Judge to make a decision. Um, Probably around. I'd be surprised if it's still in November. I think it's going to probably be in December because he's going to be getting offers from other teams. It's just going to happen now. And also, apparently, the Yankees, they're not guaranteed the chance that, Judge's agents are going to go and say, hey, we got this better offer from another team. Do you want to match that? Apparently, Cashman said during the GM meetings that they didn't guarantee that to them. So now it's kind of like, okay, you have to, if you're the Yankees, you have to make sure you give Judge a really good offer. I really hope this offer was good and it wasn't like the last one because I know Judge's agents are probably still ticked off about the offer earlier in the season. So, I mean, apparently the Yankees have also contacted basically all the free agent shortstops. It doesn't make any sense to me because you didn't want to do it last year, so why do you want to do it now? I think they're just doing their due diligence, as Brian Cashman likes to say when he goes and sleeps outside, like yesterday. Now, anyways, Rodrick, I know. Let's shift some gears here and go to football. So you have some power rankings you would like to go over. Let's hear them. You already know the number one team, but let's hear it.
It's not who you think it is. So I'll start at 32. Houston, they're just bad. Am I echoing? Okay. Denver, 31. Indianapolis is at 30. Saints at 29. Pittsburgh at 28. Rams at 27. Jaguars at 26. Panthers at 25. Rams at 24. Lions 23. Browns 22. Chicago Bears 21. Um, I made a mistake, but whatever. Falcons at 19. Cardinals at 18. Packers at 17. Cincinnati at 16. Washington at 15. Chargers at 14. Titans at 13. Buccaneers at 12. Seahawks at 11. Jets at 10. Giants at 9. Dallas at 8. San Francisco 7. Miami 6. Baltimore 5. Buffalo 4. Kansas City 3. Vikings at 2. And Eagles at 1.
Okay.
I will say I did make this before Thursday night, so I'd probably move the Packers down like to 32. But I mean, you know,
Okay.
I'm still
So I
confident.
guess where'd you put the 49ers?
We put them at 7. Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I know like they're probably better than their record. So like I guess like, you know, that makes some sense. And then
And then like,
where'd you put the Bills
the
after their
Bills
loss
were
to the Minnesota Vikings?
4. I see a
Four.
lot of people put them a lot lower than 4, but I still think they're a good team. They
Okay.
just can't handle Kirk Cousins. That's all. It's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Understandable.
Okay. Anyways, so I'm very surprised you honestly put the Eagles at one. Because I know we're gonna get a little off topic here, but this is your power rankings and we're talking about it. I don't think the Vikings are the same team that lost to the Eagles like all those weeks ago. I
Yeah.
think I think you can make the case that the Vikings should be number one, but we're not going to get too much into that here. We're not. I know you're trying to be a little non-biased, but it's okay. It's okay. So now you also wanted to talk about whether or not the Giants and Jets are possible legit contenders, first round exits, whatever. So let's go over the Jets first.
Okay.
So what do you think about the Jets? I'll give my take after, but how do you feel about them?
I feel like they're a young and up and coming team. That's obvious. Anybody can tell you that. But I think when I look at this team, I look at both teams, honestly, the quarterback play is very below average. You look at Zach Wilson, he's had some good games, but I look at games against him and the Patriots, and it's just like making horrible reads, bad throws, just overall, just not putting together complete games and consistent performances. And I think when you look at them as a team, yeah, their defense is amazing. They can get to the playoffs, and they probably will make the playoffs. But when I look at teams like that with subpar quarterback play, and not really alpha number one wide receiver, like teams like the Bills, the Chiefs, and you go into the playoffs and you're playing teams like Baltimore or Kansas City, and you have a below average quarterback with a below average passing game, I think you're not built for the playoffs. I love Sauce Gardner. Love what he did with the Cheesehead in Green Bay. That was amazing. But I don't think that defense can carry this team to more than a win. They can maybe scrape one out, but I don't look at them as a serious contender in the AFC. And they might get there one day, but as of right now, they're just a little too young, a little too inexperienced to be making a deep push, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Like you said, I don't see that. Like, can they win a game? Eh,
Yeah,
maybe it depends who they face. I mean, let's say they face the Titans and they somehow like shut down the run, and because let's be real here, the Titans have no receivers. I mean, I can honestly see the Titans losing to a wild card team, whether it's not the Marlins, the Dolphins or the Jets. I can see them losing or the Bills, whoever wins that division. But I can definitely see them losing a game to the wild card team. But that's really it with the Jets, like you said, they're young, they're up and coming, but like they don't have the quarterback that they're very inexperienced. I just like they'll be good. They'll probably go 11-6, 10-7, around that range, but they're just not. And hey, if they lose to the Patriots, we may not even be talking about the Jets in the playoffs. Possibly, we don't know that. You'll see that later on in the Jets pregame. But now let's go to the Giants. How do you feel about them? I'll give my take after, but you can go.
Giants, again, like I said, the Jets, young, up and coming. They have a great defense that's been keeping them in ball games, obviously winning ball games. Great running offense. Not a great passing game, if I'm being honest. Kenny Galladay, uh, um, Sterling Shepard. He's like out for the season, right? Yeah, he got hurt. And then there's obviously the big guy, Daniel Jones, who He's been around longer than Zach Wilson. This is his fourth year, if I'm not mistaken, and they have great coaching, great defense. But again, like the Jets, they're too inexperienced. They don't have a lot of playoff experience on that roster. That's the one thing. The second thing, first time head coach, and even with the Vikings, first time head coach, you don't know how he's gonna react or how he's gonna coach in the playoffs. And then again with the quarterback play, we look at teams in the NFC: Eagles, Jalen Hurts; Vikings, Kirk Cousins. Whatever you want to say about him, he's still a good, decent quarterback. You look at the Niners, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's pretty bad. But you look around the league, NFC or AFC, teams that have these top tier quarterbacks are the teams that are going deep in the playoffs. There's a reason why Brady would go to the AFC Championship game every year because he's a great quarterback. I just don't think that the Giants have that. Now, in regards to their playoff success, I could see them getting to an AFC Championship game. Like the NFC is pretty weak this year. If they face the Niners at home, yeah, they can beat the Niners. If they go on to play the Bucks in the divisional round, sure, they can definitely beat them, 100%. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, because I'm not legal, but if I was a betting man, I would definitely not bet on that to happen. They have potential, a lot more potential than the Jets as of right now, but I think they can squeak out one, but getting to a championship game is just doesn't look likely for them as of right now.
Okay, thank you, Rodrick. Now, if you guys expect me to be full-on delusional here, are we going to do it? No, we're not going to do it. But I'm going to offer a tiny bit more glimmer of hope. So you brought up a good point. The quarterback, they can't. But Jimmy Garoppolo, even though he was playing pretty bad last year, he still got to the NFC Championship game.
Absolutely right.
And they could have won if it weren't for that terrible interception. Yeah, I don't. Let's not talk about that. But Daniel Jones, he's definitely improved. I think Brian Dable being on his case on the first game definitely helped. Let's pull up some stats here. So Daniel Jones, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not bad, but you are right. They don't have a number one receiver, and that definitely worries me. And you also said the Giants are in a better position. You can say that, but to be honest, I would even argue the Jets have way more talent than the Giants. The Giants, they're winning these games, but they do not have a lot of talent on that team. There's not a lot of talent on there. Let's just be real here. There's not a lot of talent. And that's a problem. But there's also, there's an update apparently. So the MetLife is gonna replace the turf with grass, and a certain receiver responded to that.
I'm up.
OBJ. He put the heart with the heart eyes emoji thingy thing. Hey, I mean, if he's interested,
little speculation.
Yeah, he needs to stop. He needs to stop, seriously, because if he does all this and then goes and joins Dallas, I'm going to be annoyed. Seriously, I'm going to be annoyed if he's just leading all the Giant fans on. But I think if the Giants get OBJ, it would definitely help. But you don't know because he's coming off that injury, so it's kind of but it'll definitely help for a team like the Giants who don't have a lot of talent.
It would give them talent. It really would give them.
Exactly. And it would give them a nice boost. Daniel Jones could finally throw to someone that's not going to drop. We're not going to talk about Kenny Golladay. And like you said, all these teams that are good, they have these number one receivers and good quarterbacks. Look at the Vikings, the Eagles with Hurts, and AJ Brown. Kirk Cousins is good. With Justin Jefferson, of course, arguably the best receiver in the league. So I arguably, because it's very, people have.
I'm playing around.
Now, like you said, can they beat the Bucks? Yeah, they can beat the Bucks. Can they beat the 49ers? Yeah, it depends. It depends. Can they beat the Eagles? I'm not so sure. We'll see, when they play against them. But
I have a question for you.
Okay, what's up?
Do you think if, let's say, the Giants get somehow they face Dallas in the playoffs, do you think that the Giants have a chance against Dallas in a playoff scenario?
Oh yeah, I do. I
Like
do.
you, like going into that game, you would be confident.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Dallas in the play? The Giants have beat Dallas in the playoffs before. In Dallas, I'm not scared of Dallas, especially let's say Dallas let's say they lose against Minnesota, and I really hope please beat Dallas, please.
I got you. Don't worry.
Now, let's say that happens. The Giants go and take care of business against the Lions, and if they beat the Cowboys, they have the tiebreaker. And then you're at home possibly. And if somehow there's this crazy scenario where two wild card teams somehow meet up in the conference champion, that would be pretty crazy.
That would
But
be insane.
if that happened and the Giants, they have home. I mean, I don't see their, I think if we have OBJ and he's not on the Cowboys, I can see us winning that game. Because, and also the Cowboys now, they can't really stop the run. And that's a problem, like with Saquon. They can't stop the so, it's not impossible. But like you said, like being realistic here, I can see maybe one playoff win depending on who we face. But I'm not expecting too much. But I think is a good step in, the right direction for the Giants after being basically bottom feeders for the last 6 years. So I'll take it. For
You look a good step forward from where
yeah,
you were.
exactly. Now, if the Giants do play against the Vikings in the playoffs,
Oh my gosh.
that video will be crazy.
The Christmas videos are going to be crazy, but that video would be insane.
We just got some live news here, folks.
What happened?
Apparently, going back to baseball, the Dodgers, what's new? I said they are in on everyone.
What do they do?
Apparently, the Dodgers want Aaron Judge.
Oh my gosh.
They shed $100 million off their payroll too. Meaning because Bellinger's off the books, Kimbrel's off the books, Anderson, Heaney, Price, and two returners. They have so much money to spend now. They can go out there. They can sign Judge and DeGrom if they want.
And Aaron Judge in the same outfield.
And hey, Mookie also said too, like if he needs to go to second base, he would go there too. That's
scary to think about. I don't want to think about that. That's not okay. Like that's not right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they outbid the Yankees too.
Honestly, seriously. I think there needs to be a question put towards MLB players for going to the big market teams. I know it's about money, but at some point you would think there'd be some parity. And I feel like we're just seeing the same teams over and over in the playoffs and signing all the big name free agents. I feel like that needs to be addressed, especially with all the small market owners in Cleveland and Baltimore. Like that needs to change. But that's, it's a different topic for a different time.
Yeah, you have a point, but then some of those teams they don't even try to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like maybe you do need to have like a salary cap because it's starting to get ridiculous. It's the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets. It's the same old teams all the time signing this. These guys are basically just trading spots and stuff like that. So apparently that's just I can't even talk now. I'm really scared because the fact that they shed all that money too. And
I hope Judge, as a hometown kid of the Giants, knows better. That's what I'm hoping.
Exactly. If you're gonna leave the Yankees and you're gonna go to the West Coast, just go to the Giants. Why?
Don't go to the Dodgers. Don't make them any better than they need to be. Go hit balls to McCovey Cove if he even has enough strength to do that.
But the thing is, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you know what it's all about?
Money.
It's all about the green.
He's 32. He's 32 years old. At this point, what more does he need?
Yeah.
A ring and money. Go to LA. That's perfect. Perfect combination. Man.
So now going to some more Yankee news. We gave IKF a $6 million deal. I mean, well, I think if he's not gonna be the starting shortstop, which I don't think he is, I think the Yankees realized that during the playoffs when they basically were like, do we sit him on? Do we not? Blah, blah, blah. And we're going back and forth. I think if he's just coming off the bench, that's not bad. Now, if he is the starting shortstop, if this guy is the starting shortstop opening day, I'm gonna lose it. Now, one more thing about the Yankees. Apparently, they've been shopping Gleyber Torres around, taking some calls on him, and so Seattle is a team interested. That I think that can benefit for both sides because if you're the Yankees, you go ahead and ask for one of their bullpen pieces, and maybe Jesse Winker because he's
work for Yankee Stadium. That would definitely be
that would
beneficial.
That would be a fair deal.
I will say that since Seattle just traded for Teoscar Hernandez and then they traded for Luis Castillo last trade deadline, I don't know if they have a good enough prospect pool that the Yankees would be like, okay, moving Gleyber Torres, especially for a lower level prospect. But that's just my opinion.
Oh, no, we wouldn't trade him for a prospect.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Apparently, according to one of the insiders, they're saying one of Seattle's relievers. So wouldn't it be it would be like an even more, even deal because Seattle, you fill a need, to be honest, some more hitting. And then because Seattle they have a lot of good bullpen arms.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some good bullpen arms that could definitely benefit the Yankees because, well, we saw what happened this year with the Yankees.
Their bullpen was, besides injuries, because that's just,
Yeah, Michael King, like that Chad Green. But, anyways, going to the Nets, Kyrie Irving's back. I'm not going to get too much into that. Well, actually, I will. I'm not going to go on like Kyrie himself. I'm just going to go on Nets here. Personally, I wouldn't bring him back because, well, this guy is just a ticking time bomb for his next whatever's going to happen with him because it's always something with Kyrie. There's always something. There's always something with this guy. Whether he's disappearing for like 3 weeks and no one knows where he is, and then he's going, showing up at birthday parties, or whether it's with the vaccine or blah, 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 or it's this or it's that. No. You know what? They probably would have been better off trading Kyrie over the summer when Kevin Durant requested that trade. Now, I think it's in the Nets' best interest to just blow it up.
I think they made any good moves.
Yeah, they need to blow it up at this point. It's not working. You're not going to win with KD, and you're not winning with it. You got swept last year. Just blow it up. Ben Simmons, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
Oh yeah, he's done. He's depleted. He has no confidence.
There's always something with him. It's like, whether he's faking an injury or this or that. And the Nets, I think the Nets are getting frustrated with Ben Simmons. It's kind of like, well, apparently he had a nice night though against the Trailblazers where the Nets won somehow thanks to Royce O'Neal. But so Simmons had 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. So, I mean, he had a solid game. But still, there was always something with this team. They need to just blow it up. I don't know who's going to take on KD. I wouldn't – for the Knicks fans out there, no, you're not getting KD. You can get – I don't even think you guys want him, to be honest. Kyrie, you're not getting anything for Kyrie. You're not getting anything for him. He's not going to be a net next year. Let's be real here. And I don't even think he's going to get that contract that he wanted. I don't think he's going to get it after this whole controversy that happened. I don't think Kyrie's going to get that contract because, like I said, remember this: something will come up with Kyrie again. Something's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be, whether it's an injury or he disappears or he says something else. Something's going to happen. And the Nets need to blow it up. Get whatever you can for KD at this point. Get whatever you can. You're not winning. This experiment, it failed, just like the one, just like the one with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett almost 10 years ago. That failed too. Like it didn't work. What the Nets should have done, they should have stayed the course. Should have. You had D'Angelo Russell, just re-sign him because I know he's not the same as he was with the Nets, but who knows? You have him. You keep Jared Allen. You keep those guys. Karis LeVert. You keep those guys. And who knows? This whole Kyrie KD thing, and then basically you blew up the team. You traded all those draft picks to Houston for James Harden. He was good for like what the first half a year, okay, whatever. And then he basically last year he decided he didn't want to be there anymore, and he put on his fat suit, and then he was like, I want out of here. And so the Nets and the Nets, they don't have any first round picks because they're all Houston. So it's a failure. You are literally in the same position as you were all those years ago when you had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. It's the same thing. The Nets, for now, they need to, after you get rid of KD and whatever, just stay the course with whatever young players you have, whatever they'll get. I don't know what they're gonna do with Simmons. He's just a head case at this point. I mean, how do you feel about Ben Simmons?
I feel like he's just lost his touch. I mean, he's not really this. He's not going to be the same player he was back when he was in his prime. But he lost his confidence. He got hurt, and now he's in a place where he's counted on to not only deal with this Kyrie nonsense, deal with the Ime Udoka, Steve Nash, whatever that whole mess was, and then kind of be in the shadow of like he's just in a rough spot. And I feel like if he had been traded to somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere that wasn't so mainstream and always like in the eye
like Indiana, like a place like that, yeah.
If he went to Sacramento, I don't know. Like, I mean, you go somewhere where you're not going to have the public's eye on you, and you're not going to, be criticized as much. And we all know about him and his confidence over passing up easy slam dunks under the basket. Like, come on, you're on a max deal. We want to see you slam that home. We want to see you put the ball up. We don't want to see you passing to somebody on the bench. Like we didn't come to see him get his shine. I know that sucked to say, but like we came to see you put the ball in the basket. We need to see you be confident. Kind of transitioning into the Knicks here. It's kind of funny to see how the Nets and Knicks have kind of switched spots in terms of just being like clown shows. Because, I always remember being the Knicks is like just hilariously run, the triangle, all that nonsense. And
they still were hilariously run. I'm not to go on a rant here, but you can go.
I think if we're being real, as of right now, who's more of a clown show? Like who?
Oh, the Nets because of KD and Kyrie, but the Knicks are a whole different clown show. Do you want to let's get into the Knicks.
Let's get into the Knicks. Talk to me, Russell. Talk to me.
All right. So the Knicks, they are a get-right team, in my opinion. The Knicks are a get-right team. They are very mediocre. They have the worst owner in the league. I don't care. James Dolan is a joke. The guy literally throws out kids that say, sell the team. Sell the team, Dolan. Get him out of here. Dolan he's very controlling. Now, also, they're not the Knicks. This is the problem with them. They're not going to be that bad, but they're still going to be mediocre. Like, they're going to be a middle team. I would say they're going to get into the play-in game. They'll probably lose, and they'll get a bad pick. That's what's going to happen to the Knicks. And guess what? You should trade Randall because he's blocking Obi Toppin right now. He's blocking Obi Toppin from when he's playing. He's been okay. He should be getting way more minutes. But guess what? You got guys like Randall blocking him. And I know people want to say, oh, Randall's doing good. No, he's not. Randall he's a stat patter. He's a stat patter. That's literally what he is. And everyone's like, oh, Randall has his little fan base out there. I know that. But where was he, when the Nets faced the Knicks? And he was like, Randall, oh, big man, oh yeah, I got KD. Where was he then? Where was he then? I know he scored and stuff. I don't care. The Knicks still lost that game to a depleted net team. A depleted net team. A depleted net team. The Knicks are a get-right team. They're a middle team. That's literally what they are. And guess what? You can't move Randall. You can't move him. So, like, why did you even draft Obi Toppin when Randall just had that year? And that was like a COVID year, though. That was a COVID year when there was no fans in the stands and he had no pressure on him. And then the fans came back, and then he's over here doing this, putting the middle finger up, blah blah blah. So now, all of a sudden, the Knicks, they're 8th in conference. They're 8-7. They're playing the Warriors tonight. Can they win that game? Sure. But whatever, they're still going to be pretty mediocre. That's what they're going to do. And then they'll go ahead and let's see. So the Knicks, they're facing the Warriors tonight, the Suns on Sunday, and the Thunder on Monday. Ooh, the little rhyme there. But that's just the Knicks. They're just so mediocre. They got and Brunson, like the guy has no defense. He has no defense. No defense. I know he's been okay, but he has no defense. And RJ Barrett, oh, what a disaster he has been this year. After a lot of Knicks fans, they're like, oh yeah, RJ Barrett. But I think it would be beneficial for RJ Barrett if you did trade Randall, because Randall's basically always clogging up the elbow and stuff like that, wanting to go to the left because, like Stephen A likes to say, the Madison Square Garden is Southpaw Central. They have all those lefties there. Teams, when they see the Knicks, they say, go to the left, because that's where they know where they're going. The Knicks have all these guys. Like I said, Julius Randle, he's blocking Obi Toppin, but guess what? You can't trade Randle because he's just starting a 4-year deal. He's just starting a 4-year deal. That is stupid. That is just stupid by the New York Knicks. Why did you draft Obi Toppin? Why did you draft him? You could have just drafted someone else. You could have just drafted. And Derrick Rose, he doesn't want to be on the team anymore. You gotta trade him. But you're just in a situation now where, like, I just don't get it. You signed Brunson. That didn't make sense to me. You know what they should have done? So stay away from Brunson. Don't give him that deal. And so you have that money, and you still have some of the players, and you could have made that trade for Donovan Mitchell. That's what you should have been doing. Because once you got Brunson, it was kind of like, okay, if we do trade for Mitchell, where would we put him and who would we trade? But hey, if you didn't sign Brunson, you wouldn't have to worry about that. You wouldn't have to worry about that. You got Quentin Grimes. He's a decent player. He doesn't get a lot of minutes though. Maybe would the Knicks benefit from, maybe just sending him to the G League? I mean, they're not sending him down there apparently, I heard. So whatever. But let's look at Obi Toppin's stats here. So when he plays, he usually, because Tom Thibodeau, he doesn't want to play the kids. He doesn't want to play the kids. You got guys like last year, Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson was getting more minutes than Obi Toppin. Taj Gibson. And guess what? When Taj Gibson left, Tom Thibodeau was crying and saying, that's my guy. That's my guy. No! He should have been on the bench. Why? Why is Taj Gibson getting 25 minutes a game? Tom Thibodeau is not the coach for this New York Knicks team. They should have hired someone like Kenny Atkinson, a young development coach, and they should have been playing the kids. But that's not the New York Knicks. Rodrick, how do you feel about that?
I just laugh. That's all you can do as an outsider. I don't know if many people know this. I'm a Spurs fan, so just watching teams like this just be so ineptly run and just, I don't know what the word is, but the word clown comes to mind. It's pitiful. And then watching them stumble over themselves over and over again. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like, that's what the Knicks have done. And obviously the result has not changed. I kind of feel for Knicks fans, as obnoxious as they are, after Trae Young, all that. But
Bing bong.
It's just, you would think at some point it has to break. Like if you look at other sports, like the Browns before they were decent for that 1 year, you think they have to. Something has to break for them. If you look at baseball, you look at the Cubs before they won the World Series. Like you think something has to break, and for the Knicks, I don't know if it's going to break anytime soon. I mean, short term doesn't look like it. Like Russell said, pretty mediocre. Long term, and that's anybody's guess. But what's to stop me from thinking that the Knicks are going to draft somebody and then keep behind some 34-year-old center named Taj Gibson again? I mean, like, what makes me trust this team, especially with Dolan as the owner, Thibodeau as the coach? There's nothing to really look forward to right now, and that's really hopeless. That's really sad, and I do feel for Knicks fans, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And also just going back on the Knicks here, like you said, I don't see this changing at all. As long as James Dolan is the owner, nothing is changing for the Knicks. Before, when the Knicks had Phil Jackson, we're not gonna get into that because he's long gone. It's been a few years, but whoa, that guy was falling asleep, during the draft combines when hey, he was trying to do that triangle offense, drafting Frank Ntilikina over Donovan Mitchell, What was he doing? What were you doing? Because he was trying to run that triangle offense, with Porzingis and blah blah blah. How did that work out? Porzingis, he's like whatever now, but still. Now, also, let's look at a guy like Fournier. He got benched, and he's making all this money. Another signing where I was like, what are the Knicks doing? This is just the Knicks. I don't understand why they hand out these contracts, and then you got guys playing hero ball because they're trying to play for their next contract and stuff. You got Randall doing this. You got Tom Thibodeau doing that. You got RJ Barrett doing this. And they're basically like, oh, it's my team. No, it's my team. No, it's my team. No, they need to fire Thibodeau. And also, no. Let's go to Leon Rose. This is what happens when you hire an agent to run your team. This is what happens. This was just it was not a smart move. And then, World Wide West and blah blah blah. No. And the the blatant tampering, with Brunson. Oh, his dad, blah blah blah. I just can't with the Knicks. I'm not a Knicks fan, but it's just pretty annoying to see this team just keep doing the same. Like I said, they're going to be 8th, 9th. They'll be a playing team. If they somehow sneak into the playoffs, then let's be real here. They're not doing anything. The New York Knicks are a joke. The New York Nets, the Nets, they don't really count as a New York team. They're from New Jersey, but Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets, they're a joke too. But the Knicks, and James, as long as James Dolan owns that team, the Knicks, they'll stay the same. Well, Rodrick, is there anything else you want to go over?
I guess one final point on that, kind of close this off here. Who's worse out of the two teams that we talked about?
Oh,
in your opinion?
Well, you go first because I already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I have a feeling what it's going to be. I think from a sports standpoint, probably the Knicks, but from a generalized standpoint, probably the Nets with all of their
drama.
Drama. That's just not good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. From that standpoint, but to be honest, Kyrie's not going to be on the team next year. He's gone. He's done. And then if you can trade KD, all that, then you'll just basically be rebuilding after that. But you still don't have your first round picks. The Rockets have them. So you're still kind of like a joke. But the Knicks, I'm going to go on them again. I know I'm going on a huge rant here with the Knicks. But like I said, Hiring Tom Thibodeau was a terrible, terrible decision. Terrible decision. I know, he made the playoffs. Knicks fans were excited, saying bing bong, blah, blah, blah. We are finally in the playoffs. No. You lost in 5 games to the guy that is balding in Trae Young. You lost to him, and then I heard from Knicks fans, okay, next year, blah, blah, blah. Then they beat the Celtics first game of the year. And then it's bing bong. Oh, Trae Young looks like my dad's. Like, no. And then guess what happens after that? They don't even make the playoffs. They didn't even make the play-in. They got a mediocre draft pick, like usual. And guess what they did? They went ahead and they traded that pick. Okay, they just kept, and also, this doesn't make sense too. You were literally trading, you have all these picks, and then you're just like kind of just trading them away. And then just, I don't get it. If you're hoarding them for another superstar, why aren't you, why? This is why it didn't make sense to sign Jalen Brunson. This is why you had all these picks and stuff that you were apparently going to use on Mitchell. You were trying to sell that to your fan base and stuff. But no, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Because you know why? Because you're the New York Knicks. And guess what? You had a chance to draft this guy. You could have drafted Mitchell. You wouldn't even be in this position. But you wanted to draft Frank Ntilikina. And then there's still people, still Knicks fans, apologists over here trying to defend the Knicks for doing that. There's always these Knicks apologists. Oh, you're a fake fan. And I see it with the Yankees and the Mets too. When you don't kiss their butt, they're going to call you a fake fan and all of this, all of that. No, you're being realistic. You still want your team to win, but you're going to call them out. All right. Anything else, Rodrick?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I just had to go on a mini rant there. Well, that wasn't a mini rant, but still. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Maybe we can do a little Week 11 preview. A couple things we're looking for, something like that, and then finish it up.
Okay. We're not going to go too much like in the Giants and but like who else you want to go over here?
Yeah, so I have a couple important games that I put down. The first one being Chiefs at Chargers. Who do you have winning that game?
If Mike Williams and Keenan Allen do not come back, I don't see how the Chargers are going to win that game. They've struggled, as of late. Justin Herbert's just been throwing these, 5-yard passes because he doesn't have any help. The O-line is hurt and stuff. Even with those receivers, I think it's still going to be kind of tough for the Chargers. The Chiefs are just rolling right now. Who do you have winning that game?
I have the Chiefs myself too. A little bit of a suck or a tank bull, if you will. Broncos hosting the Raiders. Who do you have taking out that trash?
Broncos country.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, I definitely have the Broncos winning this game. They're playing in Denver, right?
Yes, this is.
Oh yeah, Denver for sure.
All right, we're gonna do a couple more. Then we're gonna close this thing out.
All right.
Buffalo hosting the Browns in Detroit because all that snow. Who do you have winning that game, and how do you think that the travel might affect this game? Briefly.
Those are some good questions. I think the Bills will win this game. I think they will win this game. Now, if the Bills don't win this game, I know you're not playing in Buffalo. You have to go all the way to Detroit, But hey, if you're the Bills, you're gonna have to stay here anyway because you're facing Detroit on Thanksgiving, right? So but I would say this should be like I don't want to say get right game. It's still going to be pretty tough with Cleveland's run game. So it's going to be. Did the Bills leave yet to go to Detroit?
I believe there is some traveling issues. That's why I brought it up. I believe there is some traveling issues.
Yeah, because Cleveland's like, is Cleveland closer to Detroit? So. It's tough. I don't think it'll affect it too much because it's a neutral site, The Browns are the Browns. I can't see them. If Buffalo loses this game, I can't call them like the legit Super Bowl contest. I thought Buffalo was going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't know if I can say that anymore. And if they lose this game to the Browns with Jacoby Brissett, if you lose to Jacoby Brissett, even in a neutral site, I don't care. You are supposed to be, the favorite. You were the favorite. You were being picked by everyone. So this would be not. It's not going to be a get right game. It's going to be pretty tough. I think Buffalo will. I think they'll win. Maybe let's say 24 to 13, somewhere around that. But you should be able to win this game. And if you can't, whatever. All right, give me another. I like doing these picks. Give me another one.
We're gonna do two more that I feel like are pretty important.
Okay.
Eagles going to Indianapolis, facing the Colts. Jeff Saturday just got his first win after being picked up out of a bar somewhere in Indianapolis. Do you think that it's possible for the Eagles to not only drop back-to-back games, but for Jeff Saturday to win his first two games as head coach?
It would not surprise me in the slightest. It would not surprise me. It just like the NFL. It's just so. It just would not surprise me if the coach somehow and I can see the Eagles, going up in there, being a little cocky. Hey, we're facing this guy. He was terrible coaching high school football. But hey, you never know in the NFL. You never know, and that's why you should never underestimate your opponent. And hey, if the Eagles somehow lose this game and the Giants win, tied for first place, and the Vikings would be the first seed if they beat the Cowboys. They'd be the first seed. So I mean, this is like a pretty big week, and I can I can see the Colts, with Matt Ryan,
Nice.
Hey, now if Sam Ellinger, whatever his name was, if he was playing, no chance. This would be a blowout. But
Matty Ice.
Matty Ice? Jonathan Taylor's apparently clicking. I wouldn't say it's impossible. All right, one more. What's the last one?
Well, we know what I think about the Vikings-Cowboys game.
Yeah.
I believe I know what you think about the Giants-Lions game.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the Monday night game in Arizona. Oh, not in Arizona, excuse me. In Mexico City. We have the Cardinals hosting the Niners. Who do you think pulls that one out?
Niners. The Cardinals. I don't know what's gone wrong. Well, actually, kind of do. Kyler Murray's pretty kind of overrated, and
Too much of this thing right here.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that they had to put in, his contract that he needed to study the playbook more, that was all we needed to know from there. And then Cliff Kingsbury, I think he's getting fired after this year. The 49ers, they've been getting hot. I can see CMC, pretty much going off against this team. I think the 49ers win I can see this being a blowout, actually. I can see this being a blowout. Give me the 49ers 35 to 20. To 20. I think, Arizona, Kyler Murray, he'll run around a little. Is he still healthy? Because I know he had like a little hamstring, and that's why he didn't play against the Rams. Let's see here real quick. So so Cliff Kingsbury said that he's come a long way. And Kyler Murray said he feels good, but he's unsure if he plays. If Kyler Murray doesn't play that game, they're going to get their doors blown off.
I think that's just some gamesmanship because I know from experience last week with whatever the heck happened to Josh Allen, he was fine the whole week. Like we knew everybody knew he was going to play, but they were trying to be like, oh, he might not go. Trying to keep the other team off their toes. I think Kyler's going to play. So we went through a couple games. Let's do a little rapid fire games that we didn't go through, so we have it on camera for next week, just to look back at. Patriots hosting the Jets.
Jets. I think the Jets get, I think eventually all these these butt whoopings that you've had by the Patriots, it's taken in. You gotta beat this team. You gotta beat them. And if you don't, because this is the biggest. This is probably the biggest game for the Jets this year. If you don't win this game,
I don't know. That game against
no,
Buffalo.
well, yeah, I know, but still, it's like if you don't win this game,
this is a massive game, definitely.
yeah, because then the Patriots they've swept you, and then now you got to worry about that. So it's like you got to win this game.
The Jets would be last in the AFC East too, which I know it doesn't mean much. That's a really good division, record-wise, but
still, when you're like basically because the Jets, let's just say the Ravens should win the division, but the thing is, they're still the Bengals. Like,
wait. The AFC East, Russell.
No. I know. Just hear me out here because this is what I'm going into. So basically, because let's say they lose and you're playing for the wild card now. So now the Bengals and the Ravens, that's the point I was about to make here. Okay. They both have the tiebreaker over you. So now you have to worry about jumping those teams too. If you lose to the Patriots, which I don't know is going to happen because both of those teams have some pretty favorable schedules. So that's why I'm saying the Jets, they need to win this game because now let's just say you're playing for the wild card. Those two teams have the tiebreaker over you, both of them.
That's home field advantage. That's a crowd, especially with
exactly.
that unexperienced team in the playoffs. That will not go, especially in Baltimore. I know it gets loud in there.
And wait, one more thing about the Jets. They'll be playing Miami the last game of the year. And you don't want to go into that. I know you beat them once, but that was without Tua. So you're going to that may be a situation where you're like, okay, we have to win. And you don't know what's going to happen after that. That's why I was saying, like, those two teams, no one can sleep on those two. We don't know what's going to happen in that division. But given that they both have the tiebreaker over the Jets, that's pretty big. So, all
right. Next game that we haven't gone over, Steelers hosting the Bengals.
I think the Bengals win this game.
All right. Houston hosts Washington.
Yeah.
I like Washington. I think they're a sneaky good team.
Yeah.
Ravens hosting the Panthers. First, before you even answer, I saw the line for this game. It was Panthers plus 12. I started dying. But anyway, Ravens hosting the Panthers.
Oh, Ravens easily.
This is a pretty weird one. Saints hosting the Rams.
Ooh, man, that is a weird one. One team that doesn't have their first round picks. Both teams.
F them picks and F that salary cap fighting against each other.
Where are they playing? New Orleans?
In New Orleans, yeah. No Cup, so.
Cup is ruled out?
Oh, yeah, he's on IR.
Oh yeah, Saints.
All right. You know what you think about the Giants. All right, last one here. Falcons.
Wait. I think the Lions will pull out the upset.
You're not serious.
I'm not serious. I'm not serious. All right, go on. All
right. And then you have the Falcons hosting the Bears.
Falcons. That's a tricky one.
That's an interesting match.
Yeah, because both teams aren't going anywhere. Justin Fields has been really good as of late, but their O-line is pretty terrible. Then you got the Falcons. They're so weird. Like,
wait, their whole playbook is snap, hand the ball off, or do they run with Mariota? That's their whole playbook.
Exactly. So, they're really weird. Like, they'll lose to a bad team, and then they'll face a good team, and somehow make it close. They beat the Niners. That's why I'm like, this is probably the hardest game to pick.
There's two teams that if you play them, it would be a trap game, but they're playing each other. So it's
exactly. So I don't know who to pick here. I'm just gonna go ahead and say the Bears because why not? I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons win this game. This is gonna be a very close game. I can see this coming down to a field goal for sure. Or if the Falcons blow a lead, because that's just what they do.
Field goals in Chicago, that's not good. I know I shouldn't be talking, but
Yeah. All right, so is that it?
Yeah, you got the Giants winning. I have this team over here smoking Dallas by 50. And yeah, put that on camera. And yeah, that's all. I'm good. Let's wrap this up.
Okay, yeah. I also have the Vikings beating the Cowboys. Please beat them. Now thank you everyone for watching. You know, my little rant about the Knicks and the Yankees and Mets news and Rodrick's nice power rankings, and it was surprisingly unbiased. Now, if you can just do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and like this video, and we'll see you in the next one here at Planet of NY Sports.